What's good? It's your boy CJ Goodfella back with the Boxing Clinic. We back on the boxing grind. Shout out to my boy Money Brown TV, man. Go follow him and my boy Trap House Boxing. You know, just as they said, they spelled, go check them out on YouTube and Brooklyn Boxing Talk. My man's right there, right hand, left hand, 100 grand. You know, support these up and coming channels. But we here, and don't forget, if you want to donate, we got the live show kicking off later today. Hopefully everything goes right. Then in the spring, we segueing into the radio show, website coming, t-shirts. So if you feel you want to donate, and we're going to give away a lot of good things and give a lot of good content and want to contribute, the donation link is in the description. You want to join the Facebook page movement, hit that link and like it. And also the tech page, man, you want to learn how to cut the cost of cable and get rid of Netflix and get something way more better. That's just free game right there. You can do it yourself and start selling Android boxing, selling this game. So that's even worth you donating, because that's free game right there. So go like that page as well. But Danny Garcia, made the interview rounds, and later today they announced his fight with Brandon Rios. I think it's going down February 17th in Las Vegas, Nevada, which isn't even a Vegas type of fight, but they're trying to blow this fight up bigger. But, he talked about his time away from boxing and Sean Porter. Let's start off there. He said that, he never was offered the Sean Porter fight. And then in another interview, I'm going to link so many interview links that I can. But I'm going to link one Fight Hub and one Fight Hype. And you just have to go to the page and get the full, interviews to the rest of the stuff. And Fight Hub have a nice lengthy interview. We're going to get into that. So those links will be in the description as well. But said, he wasn't never offered the Sean Porter fight. They never approached him. And then one interview, he said, I think it was Fight Hype, that he said they knew not to approach me with the Sean Porter fight because I wasn't taking fights. I told Al Haymon I was taking time off because I needed it. He was going through whatever he was going through. He said life was getting too hectic, paraphrasing, and he took time off. So he wasn't even open to fights. In one interview, it sounded like he just said, Sean Porter, they never offered me to fight or whatever. But, he was on a hiatus. He was on a vacation. That's why he fought once last year. He said a lot of things was going down in his life, family, fights. He said it was just too hectic. He said he had alopecia for a minute or something like they were saying. So, he said, he wasn't open to fighting Porter because, basically he had shut it down for the year. Now Heyman told him to go live his life, shoot basketball, enjoy his life. He'd been fighting for a long time. So it was a recharge for Danny Garcia. So that's what it is. That's why he told Sean to send the contract, but he knew he was, he told Al he was taking time off. So it was kind of some misconstrued crap comment that he made. So I had to dig deeper and find another interview where he gave a full 2 cents on it as well. Also, he went as far as to say that he broke Keith Thurman's arm in the fight. He said the fight, he still kind of haunts him a little bit. He said, you see what I did? I broke Keith Thurman's arm. That was a funny comment, man. He said that fight still haunts him. But he said, I don't know if he was serious, but he said he did to Keith Thurman. He broke his arm. He said the movement didn't bother him versus Keith Thurman and all that other crap. He was talking crazy, but maybe it was just to promote his fight with Keith Thurman. You also could look on Fight Hub, which I won't speak too much on this because I didn't get the full juice of this interview. Maybe I'll do a part 2 of this video. Danny said as well that Floyd Mayweather been watching him and potentially they can fight. I think that boat has flown when he lost to Keith Thurman as well. But he gave some good interviews, especially one with Fight Hub. I'm linking in the description. It was a very in-depth interview, about 13 minutes long. I chopped it up a little bit, and one thing that came across was that he said that we know he beat Terrence Crawford in the amateurs, and the guy was like, well, Crawford seems to be unbeatable right now. But Danny was like, because he switches to righty lefty and all that. Then he said, I'm good versus southpaws or righties. He know how to deal with both of them. He said, how did you beat Terrence Crawford in amateurs? He said, I don't know. You just beat a mother effer like that or something like he said. But he said his ways to beat him. He said he good versus righty and lefties, and says he'll love to fight Terrence Bud Crawford. You say that's a fight that he'd be open to long as Crawford can get that belt from Jeff Horn, and said he'd be open to that fight. He said that Crawford has had the same style since the amateur. He said switching righty lefty. He said he's always been a mentally tough kid. He gave Crawford a lot of props. I remember we did the video when he said, how's Crawford getting all his props for being pound for pound #1? when I did it better than him and I didn't get that recognition. That was facts. He had a better resume at 140. You talking about name dropping Danny Garcia, but he didn't get that credit that Bud got. But he didn't also unify those titles like Bud did as well. So that's something people look at as well. But he said his ways to beat Terrence Crawford. He said he feel he could beat him. He opened the fight in Terrence Crawford, and said he beat him before. He said Crawford has always been a mentally tough kid. And he said he's an outstanding fighter. But, Crawford, I seen on ES News a couple fights back, the other day, said that he would knock out Danny Garcia. So, let's make the fight happen. I wouldn't mind seeing Bud take on Danny Swift Garcia. I think Danny Garcia will have a good chance versus Bud Crawford. It's all about matchup, especially with him being at 147, having his feet wet. The sooner the better for him versus Crawford. But yeah, he gave Crawford some props. So he's always been mentally tough. We heard about the stories where Kenny Porter said that him and Bud almost squared off in the alley, and Bud went back down. So he's always been a tough mental guy. And that's what you got to have. You got to have mental belief. And he says that going against a guy like Terrence Crawford, you have to be mentally tough as well. And he feels that he's mentally tough enough to match wits with Terrence Crawford, And to go back to the Sean Porter things before I get into the last topic that, I'm going to speak on that he spoke on during these interviews, is that he said it again. He says that be careful what you wish for to Kennedy Sean Porter. Basically he back and, he likes the prospects of him fighting Sean Porter. He said Sean Porter's going to come in. He said, I'm a good boxer, counter puncher. And, basically he looks forward to making Sean Porter pay. And I always thought that Sean Porter plays right into Danny Garcia's, wheelhouse. Danny got problems with guys that move and use their movement. Sean's going to come straight down the pipe with a mediocre jab at best. And I see Danny, handling them. I can see Sean, being too rough and tough. But Danny likes guys that come in and be rough and tough. And I can see him icing Sean Porter at some point. I really do believe that. And I said that from the jump street, And I know Sean and Kenny feel like they're prospects of fighting Danny Garcia. So it seems like now that if he could beat Rios and he could be in a position to fight Sean Porter, he may take the fight now, And he's explaining a lot why he's been gone. And he doesn't owe any fan any explanation. If he wanted to take time off without telling people and people insinuate that he's a punani, then, that's his prerogative. I ain't mad at him. He's had a long, prosperous career so far. He did his thing at 140. You could say he got gifts. Every fighter at some point get a close fight decision in their favor. Some people more than others. But, and some people go the other way and get, messed over a lot. But, Danny, he gained some respect. He ain't got to owe me or anybody else out here explanation why he didn't take the Sean fight, why he took time off. He said he was tired. He was physically, drained. He had a lot going on in his life. Now he's back. Now let's give this guy a second chance. I'm admitting when I'm wrong. I'm blasting him for, running around, ducking guys. But he said that he told Al that he shut him down. And somebody come with a good explanation or, whatever it may be. I respect it, but let's see what he do from here now on. Let's see if he's a man of his word, if he could beat Rios, which he should. And now, if he's going to segue and fight Sean. And then, potentially go on to do things from there. Potentially Crawford, Keith, Errol. Let's see now. The reason why he didn't answer those knocks on his door, because apparently he had shut it down for the year. So that kind of, makes me understand why he didn't want to fight Errol, why he didn't answer Sean knock. He didn't answer anybody's knock. He's coming back this year. He won a tune-up fight to knock the rust off from being healed. And he ready to get the ball rolling and fight top welterweights and see if he's back in the business. But the last thing he did talk about was he said if Crawford, in another interview, you got to go find, I think it was for Fight Hype for sure. Look on Fight Hype Pass. He said if Crawford wants to be number one pound for pound, that he got to fight Errol Spence. Ain't no two ways around it. He got to fight Errol Spence. And in his opinion right now, Errol Spence is pound for pound number one. To bring up him ducking Errol Spence, that shows you the level of respect he has for Errol Spence and not jumping in with Errol Spence right now. He thinks Errol Spence is the best fighter in the world right now. And he giving Errol Spence some respect. And he said if Crawford truly wants to be pound for pound number one, he got to go through that Texas boy to be pound for pound number one. And he said they got to get it on, and that's pound for pound number one. Now, is he taking shots at Keith Thurman? Probably so. He probably thinks Bud Crawford and Errol Spence is better fighters than Keith Thurman. What I read into it, that they're fighting for the number one pound for pound supremacy, not even just the welterweight supremacy, pound for pound supremacy. It seems like he thinks Keith Thurman is a little bit overrated. Like I said, he said he broke his arm, but he also, like he did say, pound for pound, Bud got to go through Errol Spence. He'll be open to fighting Bud Crawford, but it looks like he wants to be a spectator and see the gladiator war that can be very vicious and career changing in a bad way for two dogs and beasts such as Crawford and Errol Spence getting in the ring together. That's the fight people really want to see, because Thurman is BSing around and only fighting once a year, So this is what Danny Garcia said. I'm going to leave a few interview links in the description. Fight Hype got a lot of them. Fight Hub got that one good interview. So y'all go check it out. It's your boy CJ Goodfella. We gone.